Hello, good evening, welcome to another episode of Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name is Danny, and for the next 2 hours I'm going to be sat here with you, joining you while you paint your miniatures, or any other hobby crafts things that you've kind of got going on. We all know that sometimes when we're painting our miniatures or doing whatever other hobbies it is that we're doing, sometimes things can get kind of carried away, built up in the corners, stacks of unpainted piles of shame build up, and we don't have any means necessarily or the willpower to want to get through it. That's what this show's all about. So if you've got stuff that you kind of need to get done, it's easier to get it done with some company, but none of your friends do it around you or anything like that, or you just struggle to make those connections, this is the place for you, so you can come along and make those connections, make some friends over here in the live chat with all these cool dudes, and paint your stuff along with me. I'm not a tutorial show, that's not what I do, I'm not that good, I always say that, these guys always say differently, thanks. I'm not good enough to teach you how to do what you need to do. I might have some tips and stuff. There's plenty of that stuff already out there, actually, so you should go and check them out. Not now, you guys stay here with me, because we can get our stuff painted together. If you're working on something this evening, I'd love to know about it. I genuinely do get motivated and inspired by the stuff that some of you guys are doing. So, if you want to take pictures of your stuff or just talk about it, you can share it on Facebook, you can share it on Discord at the Easy 8 After Party, and you can see some of my stuff on both of those channels and on Instagram as well if you want to, because those are the platforms that we're kind of always floating around on. Links to all of those are downstairs, down there in the description of this video. I've realised that for the last few episodes, for some reason, those links weren't present. They are now, so even if you were to go back and watch a couple of episodes ago, for whatever crazy reason you want to see me in the past, you can go and click on those links, and they are there now. So if you want to go and check out those other places, those other platforms of Easy 8, you can do. I don't know why today I feel inclined to lean on my chin. It feels a bit weird. Lean on my chin? Yeah, lean on my thumb. Well, whatever. Thanks for coming along last week, if you were one of those people. It was a late one last week, so I started an hour later, finished an hour later, because work was very, very busy. I was so busy, I got so tired. It was 48 hours of complete chaos. I was so tired that as I was drinking my drink live on the show, I poured it down my front. Embarrassing but funny. It's there for everyone to watch forever and ever. Am I a little bit tired today? Yes, but only because it's today was a day of like labour work, so going around doing odds, sods and jobs and things. But I finished off my day by taking my team, because I'm a chief instructor at an activity centre. I took my team of instructors into one of our giant pools. We don't have swimming pools. We have like activity pools, like Ultimate Wipeout, for example. We have something like that. We have to jump across the balls and things. That water isn't heated. It's treated, but it's not heated. So it's a balmy 8 or 9 degrees in there, and I spent an hour in there personally while I made them all do like medical rescues and evacuations and things, and it was just freezing. My hands still feel cold, my core temperature dropped a little bit. I'm fine, so I'm a little bit like, my face feels a little bit like, ugh, and my eyes are a little bit tired, but I'm actually raring to go, full of energy, full of beans. It was a great afternoon. Everyone's if anyone's watching this from my team, like, I don't know if anybody does, but do you know what, it was really good effort from you guys. So yeah, I love my team. They're such a lovely, I don't think anyone watches it, but I think they're a lovely bunch of people. You're just nice people who come along and threw themselves into the water to come and rescue me. I was their casualty to rescue today. Very, very good fun, but just freezing in the water, and then you get out and it's windy, and I've got some photos if anyone wants to see them of me in a wetsuit. You don't want to see that. Anyway, I hope you guys have had a good week. I haven't had a week really in the studio. I haven't been painting at all or anything. I've just been trying to crack on with work, really. I've been quite tired. I think I'm starting to get old. That makes me feel sad. Anyway, let's move on with this positive evening. Who have I got in the live chat? I've got Table of Horrors. Hi Shiv, how's it going, mate? I've got Adrian, who's almost finished his Tiger. That's fantastic news. We've got Jeff. Hi, Dad. We've got Crumb Studio. Who else have we got in there? Stafford is there. Hi, Stafford. I'm here, just loitering, trying to make props. Oh, we need more on that, please. Table says, you know it yourself. Oh, because he's painting red. Lots of Blood Angels on the go there. Good effort. Thank you very much. Blight Lord. Blight Lord Terminator is quite difficult to say. Well done to you. Hi Crumbs, hi Shiv, hi Stafford, hi Dad. And if you are new to the show, please, if you are so inclined, maybe subscribe to the show. It's how the community grows. I want the community to get bigger. I want it to be a natural thing. So don't do it if you don't want to do it. I'm not a pushy guy. It's just a bit of fun. But if you get something out of a community like this, if you hit the subscribe button, it would do me the world of good. It would do the channel the world of good. Bring more people into the community, so we can share the passion, the love for the hobby that we do. Because I love it. I really look forward to a Friday evening, not just because it's a weekend, but because I get to chat with you guys doing something that we really like. Because you always know it's the thing that you really like because you don't get paid for it. Unless some of you have managed to turn it into a job, in which case, cool for you. I'm jealous. But maybe you know someone who might benefit from the show. Bring them along. But while I take the first sip of tea of the evening, I will let you guys go and hit that thumbs up button. Go on. You go do that now. I'll just be a second. Go on. Do it. You know where it is. Go on. You will. Oh, that's a good cup of tea, that is. Bringing that old core temperature back up a little bit. Any other comments going in here? The road to monetization. Yeah, maybe. Do you know what? We're about a quarter of the way, just less than quarter of the way there. It's not a target for me to turn this into a massive career, money operation or anything like that. If it gets there, that's awesome. It means that we have kind of, got out to the wider audience and we're bringing people into the family a little bit. That's wonderful. And if it ever gets to like a monetization area, all the money will go into making the show cooler, buying supplies, buying gear, all that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that and you want it to be a thing, go and get me some more subscribers. 250 subscribers. I'll clean up my paint palette because some of you wanted me to do that. And I'll bring the cats back into the studio because you guys seem to like it when the cats come in. It's terrifying when they do, but if you want that's what we'll do. Cool, brilliant. Like, follow, share, subscribe. It would make my day. Thank you very much. Stafford says, I'm attempting to make wooden buckets out of cardboard for my daughter's show. I'm going to need more on that, please. Thank you. Thumbs up, it's already done. Trying to ignore the wrath of Steve. Steve hasn't made it into the live chat yet, but when he does come in, the first thing he does is aggressively check to see if everybody's done a thumbs up, because I haven't asked him to do that. He just does that. Good. I love that. Good commitment. If you hit 1,000, you can get onto the G-Dubs Creators programs. Oh, yes, I did actually know about that. I have actually spoken to people directly about that. So, yes, wouldn't it be cool to be a part of the GW Creator Program? First of all, let's quadruple our subscribers. Yeah, I would love to be a part of that. And buying a tank, remember. Yes, if we ever get to the point where Easy 8 goes like super viral and then I get loads of money, I'm going to buy a tank, like a real one, if I can afford it, obviously. Because like just having 1,000 subscribers means I get £3.37. It's not enough to buy a tank, so I'm not committing to that. Yeah, there we go. Come and tell me all about all of your stuff that you're building, making, etc. Do you know what I would really take if I wasn't running the show and I was coming along to watch the show? For me, it would be about sharing my successes, going like, I finally done a thing, thank you very much. But it's also about like troubleshooting. Like sometimes I do a lot of things. I'm like, I just can't get this thing. What can you guys help me? And I actually, I don't know why I'm saying like if I was just a viewer and not the host, I do get that. You guys help me out all the time. You guys have given me so many cool suggestions. You've been like, no, don't paint it that color. It would look rubbish. Don't do it. Or you talk to me about historical things or whatever. So do you know what? Love this little community. It's really nice to come home to at the end of a busy week. So yeah, a couple more comments going in. What kind of fish will you put in your tank? Big ones. Yeah. Red, maybe. So my daughter's on stage in July in a show. I have volunteered as stage crew because I'm stupid. I don't think that's stupid, mate. You know me. I grew up in the theatre, darling. I love the theatre. I quit the theatre quite a long time ago in my early 20s because frankly I wasn't that good. I loved it, but if you want to make it in the world of theatre, film, any of the acting scene, it's mercenary. and you have to be really good to stand out, or really lucky. And I was neither of those two things. I don't believe in luck for a start. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. And frankly, who could be bothered for that? And yeah, I just wasn't good enough to compete. So I was very lucky that I found my second calling, which is working with people doing cool stuff. It was like the worst explanation of what my job actually is. Anyway, do you know what? Look, enough of that rubbish. Let's go back over to the workbench. Don't know why I did that funny little smile thing there. Now you might notice we're quite a bit closer to the actual canvas here again tonight. I moved my camera. I said I was going to do it a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't do it last week. I lifted it up higher because I was working on a really big Space Marine, the McFarlane models, or McFarlane toys, or whatever they are. I thought that moving it further away would give me a better view. It didn't. It's a little bit off. I don't like it when the lines don't work properly. Is that better? Do you see what I mean? Like the mat at the bottom is just not... Oh, I'm just being a little bit OCD, aren't I? Did you keep waving to your dad in the audience? All the time, mate. When you're on stage, you always scan the faces of the audience because you want to know who's there. And then when you find your little crew, it's terrifying. I loved it, though. I absolutely loved being on stage. I love being in musicals and things like that. Well, that was a different world, a different lifetime. Anyway, what am I doing today? So I need to finish off a little bit from what I was doing last week. I was just so incredibly tired that I didn't get so much done. I do have to run a little bit of cleaner through the airbrush. It's not actually that bad. There's actually quite a bit here. Look, just stuck in the hopper, the joint of the hopper for the airbrush. I just need to run a bit of cleaner through there. I did clean it out last week, but obviously not well enough, and it was just a little bit stiff on the trigger action, which means that there was some substance, paint or varnish, and I was only varnishing last week. They kind of get stuck in the in the paint chamber, and it just seeps through all the way through the airbrush, dries, and just kind of blocks it up, holds it all together, and stops it from flowing so well. So I just want to take it apart, get all these spitty bits out of it, and then just run a bit of cleaner through it, and then I can get back on and do a bit more varnishing. That is what I've got to do today. So I varnished all of these pieces that are on the table. So I've got the torso here. I've got a leg here, I've got the backpack helmet, the two shoulder pads, and just beside me over here, I've got the space pants. If you were in last week's episode, you know space pants, and I've got the two arms. I was cleaning them up on the oil panel lining that I'd done on them. So I wanted them to dry properly and evaporate, etc., because otherwise the staining that would appear from that, from the thinners, it leaves a stain. It takes a little while for it to evaporate, and if I sprayed varnish on it, it would lock that stain in, ruin the whole aesthetic. So they've been sat there drying. They are now, I think, from what I can see, they are looking really good. They need their first layer. These little bits over here need a second layer. So I'm going to do those bits first, get through all of this stuff on the table, go back to those bits. It should all be dry, at least 2 layers, I think. And then I can start press fitting it all together. I say press fit because it just needs like forcibly socketing together, if that is a proper phrase. That was a lot of words that I struggled with for no reason there. Cool, let's get rid of all that. Lovely. I just need to get a little bit, got some 50-50 water cleaner. Get that on the end of a cotton bud, and I just run that vigorously up and down the needle here, because it just sort of dries around about this area where that sits inside the paint chamber. You imagine it sits in the airbrush like that, side profile, paint's feeding down onto it, and it just kind of sits there. It starts to dry in this area, and if it stays too long, it dries and grips hold of the gasket, so it doesn't want to move, so you have to like really push it, breaks it away, but they've still got to clean all the stuff off of it. I hope that was the most professional, profound way to explain a paint blockage in an airbrush that you'll ever get. Like I say, I'm not a pro. So yeah, literally just cleaning the sides of this needle. Thought I could hear something through my my noise cancelling headphones. I can hear rain on my roof, which I didn't expect today, to be honest. What's the weather like where you are? Have you had any nice weather recently? We've had some beautiful weather here yesterday. It was like 20 degrees. 20 degrees. Today, it wasn't. Not when we got in those pools. It was about 11 degrees today. Temperature literally halved just because I was getting in the cold water. Having a hotter day would have made that so much more bearable. I had to lie backwards in the water while I was being rescued, and it takes a couple of minutes. Just got brain freeze, but on the whole back of my head, it is so painful. But, you know, you got to lead if you're a leader, and I lead from the front. So I sat there and I grinned and I bore it all. And I hated every second of it. But my team rescued me like a bunch of champions. Like I said, they're a lovely bunch of people. Where do you guys work? And do you work with nice people? Do you keep yourself in good professional company? Or is it just a job and, you know, just pays your way to buy more plastic crack and paint? I'm very fortunate to be in the career that I work in, but it is tiring. And I am getting old. I'm okay with it though. Right. Put the trigger back in the airbrush. There we go. The needle in backwards. Don't really know what this bit here is called, but it's like some sort of grip. Slide the needle into that little tube there. Got a spring inside. Screw that into place, make sure the trigger works. Yep, it's good. Slide the needle back. I pull it all the way back so you can see it inside the chamber, just the end of it in the chamber there. That allows me to put the cap and the tip protector bit on the end without damaging the needle. Slide the needle forwards, make sure it engages fine. Nothing sticky. Yep, we're all good. Put that together, and I'm going to run a little bit of 50/50 cleaner just to loosen up anything that might be in the needle tip there. Where's my purge tank? There it is. Some comments going in. By the way, beeswax is amazing for sealing airbrushes. Expand on that, please. Tell me more. Tesco's okay to work in. Do you know what? My partner works in Tesco's during the winter. She does the same job as I do, a similar job. She's an instructor. I would be her commander, but we don't work in the same place because of that reason. It would go to my head, man. But she works seasonally, so during the winter she works at Tesco, and they look after you. They're a nice company. I don't get on with my boss, says Jeff. You are your boss. I hate my boss. Total twat. I'm self-employed. Kez says, hi all, I hope to be working where Danny does soon as a housekeeper. That, do you know what, actually is true. And I used to be in my previous place before I was made redundant, before my old centre closed. Some years ago I was housekeeping manager. It's a hard job, is housekeeping, and praise be to anyone who can do it. It is gruelling, hard work, often thankless. Yeah, I think you're just waiting for some paperwork checks, I believe. Is that correct, Kez? And then looking to join the team almost very, very soon. So welcome to the little activity centre family. And feel free to come along and join us in the big pools of water any day. Oh, and hi, Kez. Yeah, hi, Kez. Thanks for coming along. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, wait for the DBS check. Yeah, you got to have a DBS check because we work with children. That's data barring services, if anyone's wondering. The old CB something check, whatever it was, is called something different now. DBS. Airbrush seals. Every single rubber O-ring can be replaced with cheaper acetone-resistant beeswax. What? So just like put a lump of beeswax in where the gasket sits? Are you kidding me? Really? Give me more information. I need to know more, please. Right, so I've just flushed a bit of water through, then a little bit of 50/50 cleaner, and now I'm just putting a bit more water through there, just to make sure there's anything left in there that's kind of not in the way. I'm not expecting a perfectly clean airbrush, to be fair. Almost there. There it is. Literally at that last little second. Cool. Let's just tidy this up here. Okay, so. God, I've got itchy hand. I think I've reacted a little bit to the chlorine. Got a bit blotchy. Ouchie. I had problems with an airbrush because I love to clean with acetone. Okay. Does acetone destroy normal seals? Like the seals that I've got? Because I just put like IPA through it, or airbrush cleaner, which is almost identical to IPA anyway. I think the airbrush cleaner itself might have like an element of lubrication in there. But yeah, look on the ingredients thing on a thing of cleaner to a thing of IPA. It's just IPA. O-ring kept breaking because rubber just took the O-ring out, sealed it with beeswax in place of the ring, and it is solid. So does the beeswax kind of semi-solidify in there and become like a little semi-solid gasket? Or because in my head, Indian Pale Ale, yes. In my head, as the needle moves backwards and forwards, what my brain interprets is what's happening is it's just going to be dragging beeswax through it. It will wear away, it will destroy the seal, and you'll end up with beeswax in places that you don't want it to be in. That's what's in my head. Or is it staying in the gasket? This is cool stuff, man. This is like revolutionary. This is why we're here. Look at this. Look at the stuff that they're dealing with today. Love it. Okay, cool. I would like to get a little sheet of paper up here. Yeah, there we go. I'm now going to bring up the pieces that I didn't do last week. Arm. Other arm. And some space pants. Space pants. Love it. Just looking at my piece here, I don't know if I did the highlights on these, what are supposed to be like rubber rib things, ribbing, like the undersuit. We called it the black carapace or something last week. Yeah, it looks like I didn't do that. So I can do that when it's all put together, it doesn't matter. That's a really easy place to get. Yeah, I haven't highlighted those bits. What a wally. I can tell that is the case, but on here you can see that there's lots of light grey on it. Look at the light grey here. The difference between those two pieces. That's just light shining off of it there. Yeah, cool. Love that. Right. Like I said, I was very, very tired. So, I'm using Ultra Matte Polyurethane Varnish. As I have spoke about having problems with it in the past. You can see it on here, not actually being super shiny. It has a reflectiveness to it. That is just the surface itself reflecting. I think I'm starting to get used to it. I'm just taking it very, very easy with it. I think I was rushing it in the past. If it goes on too thick, too quick, it appears that it kind of ends up being shiny regardless of the ultra matte title. So look, food for thought is all I'm saying. I am gonna just put in a big old dollop of that in there. I say dollop, it's actually quite liquidy, so I'm not going to mix it with anything. All I want to do is just start spraying it on here nice and gentle. So get a little flow test going. That is flowing fine. And varnish, matte varnish, I find can be a struggle to use because it's difficult to see where you're spraying it. If you're getting it on fine enough, because it's clear, and if it's matte, you can't see, because there's no colour to it. You can't see where you're actually getting it on. Giggity. Because if it was a coloured paint, you'd see where the colour was. And if it's a gloss varnish, you can see it because it goes shiny, right? Well, matte's not supposed to be shiny. So it can be really tricksy, knowing if you've actually got a good blast of varnish on there. So it feels quite natural to want to go a little bit heavier just so you can see it kind of blasting out in a cone out the end of your airbrush, and also you might be able to see it going on a little bit heavier on the model. But that's when you start getting the problem of you know, the properties of the ultra matte not working properly, which is being ultra matte, please. I'm occasionally getting little droplets that are firing out because, well, it happens sometimes. They become a little shinier, so as and when I see them, I just try to come back a little bit later, just blast it with another bit of varnish. Hopefully it stops them from being so shiny. I'm an amateur. Just trying to create a protective layer, that's all I'm doing. So Shiv goes on to say, the wax will be like putty. Despite having a low temperature, it is sealed behind metal that you won't physically touch, so the wax remains solid and in place. Iwata actually ships some models with beeswax. Interesting. So are you buying a specific product, or can you just go and buy like a lump of beeswax and just, you know, smooth the load in with a tool or your finger or something, and then just stick the needle in there and be done with it? Do you have to replace it every couple of weeks? Tell me more. Give me more information. Teach me your ways. Okay, I've put quite a bit of varnish on that now. You can still see that it looks nice and matte. Yeah, there's reflectiveness on it, but I love it. It's good. My phone doing funny things on the side there. Crumb says, got some Das air drying clay recently, so going to use that on some bases soon to give some interest to the base. I love Das. Das air drying clay is amazing stuff. Jeff, my dad who's in the live chat, uses it a lot. If you want any tips from Das, go to him about it, because he does some amazing stuff with it. He's a very talented artist. Not just saying that because he's my dad. He truly is very, very gifted. What I will say is that Das does shrink a lot. It shouldn't be a problem on the small things that you're doing on bases. There you go, look. Make sure you PVA it to the base, because it will shrink, it will peel, and it will peel away. If you're putting it on like cardboard bases for doing terrain and things like that, it will literally break the model. It will peel, it will pull the whole cardboard base up. Even stuff that you think isn't gonna, you need wood. Like MDF is great for it, and it will literally peel the whole object away, and it will, yeah, because it's made with so much water in it, it air dries, the water evaporates, it goes hard basically. So as that water evaporates, it shrinks and it just peels up. On a little base, just put a little bit of PVA glue on it, be absolutely fine. So get your bit of clay, get it all ready to go, get your base, double a little bit of PVA on there. Stick the clay straight on top of it, shape it however you want it to be shaped, let it dry overnight. Easy peasy. Shiv goes on to say, any old beeswax will do. You can get a decent amount for around the same price as an O-ring seal set for a single airbrush, around £4 to £6. Lasts ages, but needs to be replaced as it will wear away. So how often are you changing your beeswax? Should I, like, if I was to buy some beeswax, I would do a show, and then at the end of the show, as part of cleaning the airbrush, pop a little bit more beeswax in there. Are you taking the old bit of beeswax out and replacing it with new stuff? Because if I get like a big block of like beeswax, like the size of my thumb or something, I just take a little scoop off of it every single week. That's gonna last for ages, right? Right? And it's just the one gasket in my airbrush as well. There are little seals and O-rings and stuff all over the place, but it's just the gasket here inside. Oh, I'm learning so much. This is what I love about this community. Why are we only at 239 subscribers, guys? Why aren't we at 239,000? The community here is great. I need an online marketing agent, but I can't pay you. I mean, I might be able to give you like pocket money because I don't earn enough to do that. But I need to be creating shorts and stuff all the time, right? I think that's. I mean, I've done a few shorts, but I'm not an influencer like channel. Do you know what I mean? Like there are some channels out there that just obviously there's your clickbait, just stuff to go and randomly click on. You know, toilet programs, the sort of thing you do when you go for a number two. You're sitting there watching stuff and go like, oh yeah, cool. I watched a guy fall off a skateboard, brilliant. Yeah, I'm a horrible guy and I laugh at people who do that. So I don't create influencing type material. I paint models. So all my shorts, I thought it would just be nice if I just put up nicely taken photographs, as you've already seen, of some of the stuff that I've done. I still got to do one of the little mech that I made a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to do this one when he's done, obviously. But I can't make those all the time as shorts. They're quick fire stuff. So I thought like a gag reel would be really, really fun. But I don't have the time around my life to do that. So if anyone out there is handy at online editing and wants to be a part of Easy 8 growing, let's talk, man. Got a little bit of a blockage starting to appear at the end. That's a normal thing. It happens a lot more with varnish. It just dries on the tip of the needle. Oh, I've got no autofocus on. It dries at the tip of the needle. I didn't sort out my focus range today. I can go and sort that out in a second. So all I've got left is the end of this cotton bud. It's just got some cleaner on it, and all I do is I just pop it on the. You know what I'm going to do? Where is my? Here we go. There we go. We are now focused. I'll do it manually. Here we are. So all I do there is I pop just on the side and I rotate away in the direction of the needle pointing, and that just means I don't buckle up the end of the needle, which is really easy to do. It just makes sure that I get rid of any kind of drying stuff on there. I can actually leave that little protector off now. I can actually just still carry on like this. Got a little dot that just landed on there. Can you see that shiny bit there? I've yet to add any extra to my wax, and it's been 3 months of infrequent use. Really interesting. I feel that is really quite revolutionary. How did you find that out? Is that like a friend of yours kind of told you? Is it something you found on YouTube or something like that? Because I've never heard of anything like that before. I feel like we may have had a brief conversation about it, perhaps over on Discord or something. It feels like familiar ground. But other than that, that's just not something people tell you, right? Just trying to get rid of that little spatter on his elbow there. It's going to dry quite glossy. Can you see it just here? Get a little shiny bit. Excellent. Shiv says some silicone sculpting tools to mould the beeswax would help, possibly. Yeah, I've got some of those. Here I've got 3 different sizes. Here's the middle size. So what you could do is you could just got like a little scoop of beeswax on the end, put it into the end of the airbrush, and just kind of scoop it into the recess that the gasket sits. Pop the screw bit in. Off you go. Or I don't think you'd even need to do that, because I've got a little brass gasket holder, whatever that's called. I could literally just fill the end of that. I'll have to take it apart later and I'll show you what I mean. Blue tack? Oh, you probably it's a good idea, says Shiv. Jeff, painting wood effect. Any advice, please? Wood effect is one of those things that I'd like to get good at, because I'm not very good at it at the moment. But like skin, I'd like to do something on wood and skin at some point. I think it'd be kind of cool. So yeah, listening out for any ideas or advice there. Okie dokie. Right, time to spray up these space pants. Lots of weird angles to think about here, but a very, very simple piece, which is quite bizarre. Lots of protruding and off angles areas. Difficult sentence to say. Hit that with a bit of cold air, just agitate any of that varnish into drying. Go. You can see that I've already started to paint some sort of the details on there. So for example, I've got the little leather pouches, little grenade. I don't really know what colour I'm going to do the grenade yet, but I often see pros on YouTube painting leather pouches and things, and they always do that kind of scratched up or worn leather effect. I would really like to have a go at that. It feels like the perfect opportunity to have a go. On this one here, you can see, if you look carefully, like lots of angles, like the pouches being pulled in different directions. But on these ones at the back, that pattern isn't there. So I think I could probably practice on that one, use the sculpted pattern as a bit of a guide, and then move to these ones and kind of paint it in myself and just see how good I hold that up. Still got loads of varnish in the hopper, which is good. I think I've varnished my arm and my watch more than I have the model there. Maybe a load of protection from varnish on the inside as well, so when I start pushing bits together to fit, it doesn't so easily rub off the paint. Okay, space pants can go to the side. We're going to do those 3 pieces again before the end of the evening. Going to move to the shoulder pieces because they're nice and easy to do. Shiv goes on to say, I had an airbrush that had a rubber O-ring and it wasn't willing to spend £3 every time I wanted to clean it, so I researched alternatives. Oh, did you have to dispose of it every single time? Because I've got one O-ring, I take it apart, I clean it regularly, I put the O-ring back in there. Interesting. I get a lot of, like I was talking about at the beginning of the show, I get a lot of paint creep inside the chamber where it kind of goes back up inside where the gasket sits up here. I think actually the gasket is up here, not down there. And I wonder if... Oh no, the gasket is there, beg your pardon. And I wonder if it's because my O-ring isn't that good, that if I put beeswax in there, would I see a change in those results maybe? Interesting. I can see some little glossy dots on there. Do you see the little glossy dots? That is little spatters of the varnish kind of coming out. I might, once he's all been made, is give him another couple of layers of ultra matte, and hopefully any shininess from any little areas like that will just be disguised, covered up by the matte varnish, and I might add thinner in at that point to help get it through the airbrush faster without it building up and making lots of spots, or maybe some flow improver or something like that. Excellent. Adrian says, start with a dark brown. Oh, this is for the wood here, such as Rhinox hide. Wash with Agrax or Nuln oil. Dry brush with a light brown, such as ass crack. Ass crack brown. At least that's how I do it. Yeah, that sounds like a really cool idea. I'm assuming that those are paints that I've kind of got in my head. Like ass crack brown might be like a really light brown. Is it like a really pale brown? Rhinox hide, I'm familiar with that. There's quite a nice dark brown. Agrax is a really dark wash. Nuln oil, yeah, you could do. I've seen lots of different ways of people doing it, and also, you know, depends on what kind of wood you're painting, really, doesn't it? Are you painting treated wood? Are you are you painting bare wood? Are you different types of wood? Yeah, lots of things to think about. I've gone on far too heavy there. See how shiny that is? That will stay similarly shiny when it dries. It will tone down a little bit, but I have definitely gone on too heavy there. It feels like there was a little bit of a blockage inside that's just kind of cleared. Yeah, definitely has happened. Because now it is coming out like a coming out thing. Let's put you to the side. There we go. Helmet. Crumb says, I'm shattered, so I'm going to bail out and see you all next week. Have a good one. Sorry to see you go, mate, but take care of yourself. Go get some rest. See you around. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll see you next time, pal. Take care. Bye-bye. That feels like the end of the show. Jeff says, yeah, paint it a light base brown, let it dry. That's your base. Now go over with your wood colours, and while that's wet, you can have a piece of card with a jagged comb effect on the edge. Part 2, you can now comb a wood effect into your item by wiping off paint with it. Bye. Oh, bye. I bet he's off to watch the Ruggers. I bet that's what he's doing. He's not actually shattered. I bet he's well into his rugby. Cheeky. Got a bit more drying going on there, so let's just get the needle back in. That with a little bit of air, try and agitate the paint to dry, varnish rather. Oh, I've got itchy eye. Oh, that's a good eye rub, brilliant. Chlorine, man, affecting my eyes. So there's a chap from Wales who said that for every point Wales lost by the Six Nations, he would run a mile. He ended up running 119 miles overall. Oh dear. That is hilarious. That feels quite dry now. Cool, helmet is done. Backpack. It's one of my favourite pieces. It's actually just a tactile piece of stuff. It's just quite nice to hold. Okay, start from the top, I suppose. A bit of a blockage again. Yeah, it was just over the edge of the nozzle, I think. Yep, seems good. Starting to get a lot of spatter again. I wonder if that is because it needs to be mixed down a little bit. I've still got loads of varnish in there. I'm going to drop in, still laughing at the 190 miles. I'm just going to drop in a couple of drops of flow improver. Just see what happens. It's like 3.5, if you can have 3.5 drops. Quite a bit really. Let's just mix that up. Oh, that paintbrush cleaner that I use is so lovely. It's a soft little brush. Looks like it's gone cloudy. It's not a bad thing. Okay. Let's just see how that goes. Seems to be working a bit better. Yeah, I think I might do that from now on. Yeah, it's gone a bit frothy in there. I've definitely got a bit of a blockage, but that's fine. The flow improver is helping it. That'll do for that, I think. All's Wales that ends Wales. He was quiet for so long. I know that is all he's been thinking about for the last few minutes. Bless him. Okay. Got all my bits on my porcupine. Yeah. We are pretty much at a time for a break, I think. So, let's think about going for one of those. Oh, where's my buttons? There we go. I've still got 2 pieces to do. I've still got 2 legs to go. These legs, obviously, like the other pieces I've just done, they've all had their first coat. You can still see like little glossy spots on there. So it's just the first 3 pieces that need their second coats again. That shouldn't take me too long, and then I can start putting these things together, and it'd be really nice to see it all coming together. Really quite excited about that. Just start getting some... Get some varnish on there, hide those little glossy spots. They are super glossy, they go right through the layers of matte that I'm putting on. So it tells me that I've got to do a couple of layers of this ultra fine matte, ultra matte varnish without getting any spattery bits on there. So I've got to work out what it is that I'm doing wrong that's making those little droplets appear. I'm sure it is partly a blockage, partly a mixture issue. I do have the other old varnish which I get better results from. I bought that one because I was like, oh, ultra matte, that's kind of what I want, right? I want not just matte, I want ultra matte. And it also came in a really big bottle. So I thought, yeah, that'll last me forever. But if I can't get it to behave properly, what's the point? Another big spatter there, look. Clever me. This has been enjoyable so far. I'm just enjoying spraying quite indiscriminately with the airbrush. It's been quite fun. Right. You can just go in the middle, sir. Lush. Right. Cool. Gonna finish the last of my tea. In a minute, there was more in there than I thought. Don't want to spill it all down my front again. And then I'm going to go get myself a grown-up juice. You know, like a little bit of booze. Just a little bit, just to help the Friday settle in a little bit more. So we'll be about 10 minutes. So if you need to go change your paint water, go do it now. If you want to go grab yourself a grown-up juice, I'll see you in 10. Until then, bye-bye! welcome back. Hope you had a good break. I just sat and chilled out, just enjoying sitting in a chair, looking at stuff, you know, just being grateful for the day and the week, etc. And I went and got myself a grown-up juice. So if you've got one too, cheers. Happy weekend, everybody. That's a little vodka and coke for you. Cheeky. I love that. If you're just joining us and you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing to the show. The subscribers are you. It is the community. The more subscribers we've got, the bigger the community is, and that can only be a wonderful thing. So if you think you know someone who might benefit from a show like that, bring them in, get them involved, or just share a link with them and get them to come along. You know, maybe put a poster up at work or at college or whatever it is that you want to do. Bring your kids along if you want to. It is a safe space for all to come along and enjoy the passion of hobby, craft, painting stuff. Mostly models, but whatever. You know, if you just like coming along for a chit chat, it's good for you too. If you're good enough to teach people, teach me, because I'm not very good, and I am slow to learn and accept change, etc. So yeah, would love that. If we had some pros out there watching this, like, come on in, please, tell me what to do. I'd love that. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. That's the big thumbs up thing. You know how it goes. Every time you interact with the algorithm, all hail the algorithm. Every time you give it a thumbs up, every time you give it a share, every time you make a comment after the video's been live, talking in the live chat, subscribing, they're all things that affect the algorithm. All hail the algorithm. You know, the big YouTube thing that just decides how you view things. So the more that we interact with it, the more that you interact with it, the more popular we'll become. Of course, we want people to come and join the big Easy 8 family to make it even bigger, right? But it's a natural thing. It's an organic thing, and that's fine. I feel like I'm drumming the subscribe thing a bit more than normal today. I didn't mean that to be a thing. It's just my mouth opens, sounds come out. Sometimes it's good. You be a judge of that, I suppose. Subscribe, it would make my day. Thank you very much. If you're working on something this evening, come and tell us all about it. You can put pictures up. You can talk about it, give us a little description of what's going on. You can put those pictures and write-ups on Facebook, on Discord if you want to, at the Easy 8 After Party. You can see some of the stuff that I've been doing over at Instagram as well, and links to all of our platforms are all down there, so go check out those links, along with a whole host of links to people, places, services, businesses, etc., of just really cool people that I've met along the way that deserve your love and attention. So go and check them out. But later on, because you're here now, right? Painting, hopefully. If you're painting some this evening, how's it going? I'd love to know. Come and talk to me about it. How is the red going, Shiv? Shiv's been painting some Blood Angels. Is it all going well? Before he left, Crumb Studio was painting some Blight Lords. Kez says, I am putting the base coat on my Draconis Combine mechs. Ooh, I like Draconis Combine. Love to see them when you're done. That would be great. Thank you very much. Do come and show me, because I've got hiccups. I've had booze, I've had bubbles. That's going to make me hiccup now all evening. Yeah, we'd love to see them when they little progress photos, please. Adrian, how is the Tiger project going on? Is it going well? Dad, you didn't say what you're doing this evening. What are you doing? Are you making more windows? You always seem to be making windows or something like that. Tell me what it is that you're doing, please. I'm going to have a drink. That's what I'm going to do. And not spill it down my front. Right. I've got one more leg to give the second coat for. So here we go. I just gave the needle a bit of a clean just before we came back from the break there. Just because, well, I think it's getting a bit cloggy, frankly. Yeah, it is getting a bit cloggers. And I've loaded up. I just realised that we're not over at the workbench. What a douche. I've loaded up this cotton bud with pure cleaner, rather than the watered down mixture, just so it has a little bit extra punchy power on the needle there. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a blockage in the nozzle. It happens. It's drying in there. What I do sometimes is I just force the paint out here, and I just kind of roll backwards and forwards on the trigger like this, and it does sometimes just give a little bit of a pulse, a little bit of a push, and the blockage will come out, and then you'll just end up with this massive pile of paint or varnish. But I'd rather it happen on this piece of paper than on the model, right? Sometimes just loosening off the nozzle cap can be enough. Let's see what that did. There's a dry chunky bit on the end of the needle there. Oh, there it is. And blocked again. Yeah, there's a blockage inside the nozzle. Okay, cool. Well, do you know what? Let's just see how far we can go. I don't think we're going to go very far at all, are we? You're going to be a pain in my backside now, aren't you? Okay, that's a bit better. Let's try that. Let's get... as much varnish on here as we can quickly without jeopardizing the quality. What's the compromising? That's the word I was looking for. A few little spatters on there. That's okay. I'm gonna keep on varnishes as I go through the project, and it'll have like probably 3 or 4 more coats of varnish, I reckon, throughout the entire thing as a minimum. Because I want it to be protected, and as I add more detail points in and do more painting over it, I want it to be more protected. It's flowing quite well now. He says just got to the end of it, I think. Yeah, I'm going to keep on protecting everything that I paint over top of it, and I'm going to do more protective layers. I want it to be, you know, transported. I want it to be handled, and yeah, it's going to get wear and tear. So it needs that level of protection. I've just seen that Shiv has just found a joke as something I've said. It's the second leg. Could you say that you're on the final leg? Yes. Close to finishing a single Mark IV. That can't be the first Mark IV. Surely you've done more, haven't you? And if you've got one, surely there are more right behind it. Have you got a production line thing going on? Tell me more, please, mister. We're a bit shiny on that leg there. Need to be steady, please. Right, back to the first pieces, which is arm. Let's go back to arm. Yeah, we've got a better flow of varnish going now. There was a little blockage in there, clearly. We'll give him a proper clean out after the show. That's looking good, isn't it? Cool. Second arm, which I think actually is the first one I did. Doesn't really matter though. They'll all get their time. There's no favourite arm here. Space Marines are ambidextrous. So, yeah. You know, I'm actually really enjoying this. This is like the most simplest thing ever, isn't it? There's no colour or anything involved. It's just get a couple of layers on, be done. But actually, I think this is kind of what I needed. I needed a little bit of mundanity, some good company, some airbrush action. That's what I needed. And I'm okay with that. I needed to not focus or concentrate. Just needed to do some labour. That was it. Just needed to put some stuff in an airbrush and then take it out of the airbrush by forcing it out the end. Yeah. That's a nice layer that's gone on there. Happy with that. Still a little bit on the shiny side, but right now, don't care. Don't care at all. Shiv says, using the 30k melee kit to make Mark IV despoilers without paying resin prices. Good man. Well done. He's a thinker, is our Shiv. Right, to the space pants. To the space pants. Don't know why I sang that. Don't start blocking now, come on. Excuse me. You'll notice today that I'm actually just on my headset rather than on the big microphone. The big microphone has just been a bit of a pain in my ass for the last few months now, I think, really. Sometimes it just stops working during the middle of a show. It never stops working if I'm not live. Like, it will always be on working, doing its thing in anything else that I do. Maybe I'm talking to my friends or playing video games. If I'm using it at any of those times, it works fine. It's something about the pressure of going live. I think I've just run out of varnish. Poo bums. I need just another drop in there, really. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough. Yeah, it just seems to sometimes just cut out. And I can't make it work again without not being on the air. So I've just decided this week, just because I've had a couple of weeks of audio problems, that I would just go to the headset today. Yeah, the voice is a little scratchier, it's a little tinnier, isn't it? If the mic is giving you a pain in the arse, then I think you're using it wrong. No, that is exactly how the man told me to use it. Yeah, so I just thought I'd stay on this one today. Yeah. Okay, that's that done. You stay there, please, Space Pants. Lovely. And I wanted to come back to this piece here, just to give it a second pass over. Bit on the shiny side, isn't it? See what I mean? Like, it's not very ultra matte, is it? That is clearly very shiny. And I'm trying to go as light as I can now over the top of that. Cool. We're done. I need to clean out my airbrush. Let me just run a little bit of cleaner through it, and hopefully in that time all the other bits will have sort of dried enough for me to start handling them, frankly. To start pushing some things back together again. I'm starting to not talk properly. What is in this juice? Adrian says, Tiger is now drying. Got a bit more to do to the tracks, but I'm unable to do so today as they need at least 12 hours to fully dry before the next stage. What is it that you're doing to them that takes so long to dry? Are you using like a particular like enamel paint or something like that on there? Pray tell. Would love to know. Right, let's get rid of that sheet. Let's get some stuff in here. First things first, just flush it through a little bit of water, just get rid of any large amounts of crap. You can normally tell how good the airbrush is working or how clean it is by how quickly this drains out on a quick water purge. Sometimes it just drops straight away like it is now, and then it'll just sort of slow down or stop altogether, or blow bubbles back up or whatever. Kind of gives me an idea of how much it's going to take to clean it later. Got a bit of 50-50 cleaner here. Bit of a skin developing in there, so I'm going to stop putting that air out. Oh, that is the sort of stuff that clogs an airbrush. That was on the side of the hopper. I just saw it floating around in the water. If you've got dried up varnish inside the paint chamber, this will either go in one big lump through the nozzle. It won't be this much because there's not that much in there comparative to the hopper, but bits of that will break off, or in one big lump it will just go into the nozzle. That was good that I caught that right. I thought I saw it floating around in there. There are little floaters in there and all sorts. Let's get rid of all of that before it goes into the paint chamber. Yeah, big old bits that are breaking off in there. Gross. Oh, big old slimers there, look. Yay. Gross. Let. Oh, my little label just came off my bottle. It's been on there for 5 years. I'll glue that back on later. Just the last little bit, we're starting to spray out a little bit on the slow side. I think because my purge tank is getting quite full. Quite clean though. There we go, that's done. Gonna turn off the compressor there. Unnecessary electricity usage. Right. Clean up a minute. There we go. Lovely. Cool. Well, that's the end of a moment, that is. Right. Okay, have another drink. Victory drink. Oh, yum. Adrian says, most of it should be able to be matte varnished tomorrow with the tracks varnished Sunday. Final assembly should be Monday, at which point it'll be finished. Got to let those enamels dry for 12 hours at least before adding the final piece of weathering to the tracks and applying the final varnish to the rest of the tank. Once the Tiger is finished, it'll onwards with Gaunt's Ghosts. I'll be onwards with Gaunt's Ghosts, and then maybe I'll do my 135th Challenger 2. Very exciting. Is it a Tiger or is it a Tiger 2? I'm interested to know. And you're absolutely right, enamels, yeah, they do need a little bit longer to dry. and it is absolutely worth letting them have the time that they need just to get the finest results out of them. When you are doing things like that, yeah, just pays dividends to do it that way. Oh, I never put anything on this guy. A second coat on this bit, did I? It'll be all right, I'm sure. This is only the bit that's going to be held the most, right? So, space pants first. Yeah, because the legs clip onto here, don't they? So, here's the really big problem, is that I've still got all these stakes in here, so I suppose now I've got to start pulling all these bits out. I originally blue tacked them and super glued them in. I'm not entirely sure why I did that. I just did. Deal with it. Like blue tack, I was hoping was going to hold it mostly. But I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to super glue it, and then I'm going to put blue tack over it. I mean, the super glue, even though I've got a good super glue, it is weaker when you put it under massive amounts of leverage, like here, for example. That thing snapped several times, hasn't it? So having that little bit of blue tack just felt like extra safety precaution stuff. So yeah, well, whatever. Rambling on a bit now. So now, just in here, there is a little bit of super glue. I just want to get rid of that. It might be that it doesn't interfere at all, but why take the risk and risk damaging everything? So I'm just going to get like several different tools that'll probably do the job. I'm just going to see if I can just crack it away a little bit like a dentist, just chipping away at like plaque. Because why not make that analogy? God, if it starts pinging around like that, I'm going to need goggles. I don't want to wear goggles for this. I mean, the good thing is about super glue is that it is really brittle, so you should be able to remove it quite easily with a little bit of aggressive persuasion. Okay. Just a big globule there that sort of dried in one area. Just try and chisel that away. Quite satisfying, actually. There we go. That's the most of it out. Right, because there's a lot of dusty bits of super glue left all over it, just going to get in there with the old dusting brush. Clean that down. Already I can see that the varnish has helped quite a bit because I was holding it quite tight and being quite forceful with it. And I was half expecting, because it's quite supple, that would put stress on the paint and start cracking it and peeling it in certain places. I tried to keep that to a bare minimum, and it seems to have weathered it quite well. So yay for me, right? So make sure that he gets his trousers on the right way. That's going to go on here like this, right? And then the legs are going to clip onto that part there. Already a little ensemble. Look at that. A bit of dusting. Making sure that I get it in sort of lined up properly. Okay, there is clearly there's little grooves in there, look, which line up with these bits. So actually, that's what I need to line it up with. There we go. That's better. Now that's positioned perfectly. Excellent. I'm gonna start with this leg here, simply because I don't have to cut that bit off already. Adrian says it's a Tiger 2. Ah, nice. I think you've spoken about it before and I've just forgotten about it, but that sounds awesome. No cares, not an awesome. Inside joke. Oh dear, that's the tough bit, is getting those thigh bits in there, and I'm really worried about rubbing the paint off in certain areas, so I'm trying to be as delicate but as forceful at the same time as I can. Ugh. What happens if I push down onto it like this? Use the table as... Nope, that just moved the joint. Needs to go in at that angle, right? Just checking for any paint damage. You see there's a little bit of stress in there. Look. So that means there's a little bit of stress on here, but nothing OTT. Good work. Maybe we'll come back to that. Oh, the challenges! The challenges. Okay, what other things have we got? Let's maybe... I don't want to go to the arms yet, because they're going to be in the way, aren't they? I need to do the legs now. Well, do you know what? Let's go with the other leg. And let's cut the steak off. I'm just being a wimp, that's what it is. Obviously damage is going to occur as I go, and I just need to be bold enough to, you know, repair it. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. Just need to stop being such a wimp. I think the Challenger looks real nice with its side skirts, says Jeff. I can't think of it at the moment. I just have World War II tanks in my head at the moment. But yeah, I bet it does. I do like side skirts on a tank. I think they're proper mean. Talking of tanks, me and Dave, if you are watching right now, Dave does struggle to join in the live chat, but does watch often. If you're in the live chat, please hit us with a stream of emojis so that we know you are there. That leg is going in. Oh, that leg is in. Whoa, yeah. Could probably be in a little bit further, to be fair. There it is. One leg in. Ooh. I feel so manly right now. Excellent. Forgot what I was saying. Oh, yes. Has the socket got paint in it? A tiny, tiny amount. Nothing that is going to bother it. It was just being a little bit stressful. They were really tight to remove, to be fair. I just need to put some effort into it. I'm just being timid. That's all it is. I think what it is I need to get... See this part here? This little lip? That needs to go inside the socket here. But when I'm kind of meeting the two things up, I think it's going on the outside. So I just need to line it up better, I think. So actually maybe the other one actually went in better when this bit was angled up a bit further, so I'm going to try that. What I was saying was me and Dave, we tried playing a game of Achtung Panzer the other day from Warlord Games. Had the rulebook for a while, been meaning to play it for ages, and we finally got around to playing a test game of it the other day. Wicked fun. If you haven't played Achtung Panzer yet, we had a very, very basic go at it, like really just touching the edges of it, and we had such fun doing it. We didn't do anything like really in terms of what tanks we drove for us a little bit, span around on the spot, took a couple of shots at each other, nothing really happened. It was just getting used to the basic mechanics of the game, because it does what every other tank game does. It's got tanks in it, you drive around and shoot each other, brilliant. But the way that the game plays, very different from anything I've played before. Very good fun, very well thought out. I liked it. Yet to play more, see what happens. Alright, come on, leg 2. This one is going to fight me all the way, isn't it? Come on now, don't be a bumhole. I think it needs to go up one more. Click. Let's see. No, I think it does need to be lower down. Oh, this is a tricky little game. Just the way it needs to fit in, that's all. It's such a tough one to put together. It is that interfering. I can see that that is the case. I've just got to get it lined up right. When it lines up right, it's going to be 10 times easier. Can't remember how far I got with the Challenger before putting it on, Paul says Adrian. I do seem to remember that it does have the side skirts on. Okay, so it's like an old project that you're going back to. That's a worthy project to do. Every project deserves your attention, your love. Go and give it that attention. Go on. Come on, you little feisty little leg. Making sure I haven't worn any paint off. No, we are all good. It's all coming together though, isn't it? Enjoying that. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look super cool. Stop showing me up in front of all my friends, please. Trixie. It's only because, obviously, with the socket here, the leg has to start further over to the side. Because it starts further over to the side, this top bit up here pushes against the bit in there. Obviously, when it's connected, it slots up inside more, if that makes sense. So it's just, yeah, in a bit of a limbo world there, really. Gonna keep on trying, gonna keep on persevering. It's gonna look solid when it's all together. Okay, that's too far. There is like a sweet spot with how that little socket lines up. What I'm trying to do is move it all out of the way. He's doing a lovely little dance now. I can just force that socket in. Come on now. Oh, that looks like it's it. Absolute bumder. That's easier than that to use. Okay, cool. Let's carry on using that then. Ah, frustrating. Really happy with how the paint is taking the punishment though. You can see that I'm actually starting to get a tiny bit of damage just there. But so far, like actually holding it, playing with it, is kind of, you know, rubbing against itself quite a bit. It could take quite a bit of damage from all of that. It actually seems to be weathering that storm quite well. That's just kind of in the way a little bit, so I just need to see if I can lift that up. Okay, I'm going to move to an arm. I'm going to come back to that leg later on. It is being temperamental. Will he stand up on his own? No. Okay, cool. That's fair. Look, well, we're halfway there on the legs. Yeah. Let's move to one of these arms. These arms. I'm going to go with the right arm first to stay on the side of success here. So nice and easy thing to remove. Should just peel off. Yeah, look at that. Lovely. And then I will just come in with... I've got a knife? Have I got a knife? I should have a knife. Here it is. Just going to cut that little bit of trim away there. It's just a bit of super glue. That feels like a fresh blade. Should be careful with that. Thank you. Got a cutting mat for a reason. Excellent. The reason I did that is because there's a shoulder pad going over the top of it, and I don't know how tight that fit's going to be. So if there's anything in there that's kind of going to get in the way, just remove it. I hope that isn't going to be in the way later on. Like, I hope you're not going to be able to see that. Basically, if you do, I'm just going to paint it black. So I'll just be able to squeeze a brush up inside underneath the shoulder pad, essentially, and just remove that evidence. Okay, we're going into this socket over here, aren't we? So clean that out. I'm hoping these will just kind of push in. They were quite hard to push in, but they did go. So I'm hoping that with a little bit of... We are in. Look at that. Sick. Starting to come together now, boy. I'm going to try and not affect his wrist and his elbow too much, because I did get those sort of lined up with how I wanted them to be on the gun. So, yeah, sort that out a little bit later on. Going to go for the other arm then. This is exciting, isn't it? Loving it. Jeff says, if you get and paint 28mm tanks for Achtung Panzer, I will make a full desert terrain set for it. Stop that. Okay, cool. If he only has one leg, you could call him Adrian. He's missing the wrong leg. How do you know? He's wearing a suit after all. That was a strong bit of vodka at the bottom of that. Oh, that is a fresh knife blade. That is uncomfortable to put my thumb against. Housekeeping. Back from my old housekeeping days. Okie dokie. Here goes the other arm. Hopefully this one works just as well. Make sure I get the right one and don't put him in that way, right? Because that'll be a bit weird. Oh, like a glove, but on the shoulder. That's not how it's going to be holding his gun. It is going to be a bit more dynamic than that, right? Hopefully. Good lordy. When I set him in the right position, and then obviously I needed to take him apart. Taking him apart meant that his joints did get manipulated a little bit. I expect that when I get him to the right position, you're going to see unpainted gaps. There was no way I was going to get away from that, really. So I'm just going to go in there and paint them black, and then hopefully it will look okay. I'll tart it up later. There is going to be a part of this model that is going to be tidying up. That's fine. That's okay. Okay, let's go to the shoulder pads. I can't remember which shoulder pad this went on. It is always on the left side for heraldry, squad markings on the right. Am I correct on that? I've got to take that little bit off there anyway, so I'm sure Adrian or Staff would have come back at me and tell me which side it is. I'm sure that is the side. Why am I struggling with that right now? That is correct, isn't it? That needs to be chiseled away in there, I think, because that is going to interfere. Oh my gosh, good gosh. Throw my Stanley knife at myself. Should I commit like a serious injury upon myself live on the show, to the point where I'm probably bleeding out, I'm unable to help myself in the studio live on air? There are people watching this right now who know exactly where I am, who could call the emergency services, and the good thing about that is it'll all be on stream for you guys to watch and be entertained with. You know, the stream doesn't stop for no one, right? Getting a bit messy in there, isn't it? Heraldry on the left. Jokers to the right. Yeah, I thought it was. Been doing this for a long time and I forget sometimes the most basic things, right? Cray. Look, we're in the last sort of 10 minutes of the show. As always, you know what happens. Something you want to say, get it out there now. Or wait until next week. Or find me on social media and talk about it over there. Heraldry on the left. Super simple. All that's got to happen, that's got to go onto that. I think we might be able to see some of the unpainted bits in here. That's okay. I'm not bothered by that. I'll sort that out. These are actually going to be a little trickier to put on. They seem to want to move out of the way when you're trying to push them in. It might be a bit of a blessing in disguise though, because actually I might want to kind of get in there and paint that now. That's not completely on, but yeah. It's looking good though, isn't it? Like, I'm really enjoying it. It's really good fun. Just building and putting them all together, and how all those different pieces were being painted differently. But look at the whole composition. Do you see now why I had my camera elevated a little bit more? I can actually affect this mildly. Here we go. There, look at that. That's better, isn't it? The whole composition's all coming together, and I thought that it was actually going to be too dark, but actually I really like it. Yeah, I thought that was on there nice and loose. I will actually keep those off, and I'm going to get my little mini drill out, and I'm going to sand that down a little bit more, and I'm just going to paint that whole area black. Just deal with it. That's going to go black as well, just to make sure that it's all hidden, because I don't want it to be seen in any way. While I've got that on the go, of course, what I will do now is I will get the other one here. Just going to lever that out. Yeah, that's really satisfying. Lush. Weird to hold that. Making sure I get any of the blue tack residue in there. Don't want that left behind. Excellent. I'll get in there again with a mini drill later. One's glossier than the other. Helmet. Again, going to keep the helmet off for a bit as well, because I do want to just kind of finish up this collar piece up here. I want to get some highlights and things on there, make that look really nice too. So I am going to leave that off for now, but of course I can. Do I want to carry on doing details on the head by holding it on a stick? Adrian's got to go. His pup is begging to go out. See you all next week. Take care, Adrian. Thanks for putting up pictures of your tank, by the way. I did see you posting that a minute ago. Thanks for coming along. Love you, man. Cheers. Bye. Do you know what? I'm going to keep the head on the stick for now, because it means that I can just kind of get in there and do a little bit more detail work on it a little bit later, with a little bit more simplicity. I know that I could re-glue the stick back in and whatever, but why redo it when I can just leave it? That is fine, right? That is cool. Finally then, backpack. I just drilled a little hole into there, so that just needs to come off. Two. Easy. That's gone. Find that when I move house. The good thing about this backpack is it actually doesn't even need to be glued in. It's such a tight fit, it just kind of slots together and holds really well. I'm going to give it a bit more of a clean up. That's still a little bit proud, as you can see here. So I will clean that up. I'll get a little mini drill on it. Seconds worth of work there. But just to kind of start seeing the ensemble of it all together. Look at that. The whole thing starting to come together now. Really liking it. I like how far the backpack sticks off. In the old models, of course, they used to be up close and it never had that sort of sense of distance. I really like the fact that it sticks out a little bit. It's really cool. I'm really happy with how everything is looking. I'm actually way happier than I thought I was going to be. I thought bits were going to look a little mismatched. I thought it was going to be a lot more damage. Yeah, I thought I was going to struggle a lot more with every single joint. Having just one to fight with makes me happy. I'm okay with that. I knew that there was going to be a bit of a struggle. Whatevs. Who cares? There's going to be a lot of cleanup. Just a little bit of effort on here. That's all fine, isn't it? Too easy. Too easy. It's got to get that leg on there, man. That is going to be the challenge, really. It's getting that leg on there. It's probably going to take me a day. So, yeah. I'm going off to see some friends tomorrow. Travelling across the county to go and see some of my old colleagues from my old job. It's going to be very emotional, for me at least. So I'm looking forward to going off and doing that. When I come back in the evening, if I haven't managed to get it on there tonight, then I think this is going to be the time spent trying to do that. His joints are all a little bit more loosey-goosey, probably because he's had a little bit of work and stress put into them while I've been putting him back together again. It's actually nice to know that he's still quite manipulable. That's not even a word. I'm going to go with it though. Love that. So yeah, just got to get that leg in there, haven't I? It's really tricky. Really, really tricky. Gonna move his arms up and out of the way. Keep your gun above your head when you're in the water, please. Love that. Really, really tricky. One more go. One more go. Let's see. Is this the moment? It was so nearly the moment. Find your center. Shiv, you're always thanking me for the stream. You're always welcome. Thank you very much, mate. Let's take his backpack off. A little bit easier there. Hold him all the way around. Hold him like I love him. Right, come on now. That little crease is getting right in the way. Doing my head in, mate. Every time that little joint just rotates up and it clicks, I think, oh, I've got it, and then I absolutely haven't. One more for luck. Stop embarrassing me in front of my friends, man. Well, it's actually just going to be legless, so yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Whatever, he's going to lie like that. He's clearly a victim of war. What else could I possibly ask for? Brilliant. I'm done. I can't get that on there today. So yeah, that is going to be a little project for maybe the next sort of 24 or 48 hours, maybe 3 years. Well, whatever. Let's get away from here. This is a silly place. I thought I was going to get that all together. Thanks, Danny. I had a productive night. Oh, I'm glad I had everything to do with that. You're so welcome. Tell me what you did. Oh, he has. I made a bucket. Good for you. Love that. Just need a panther to hang it off now. Absolutely. Please go and buy a real life panther. I'm glad that you've managed to get your buckets made. How many buckets have you got to make? I know what you're making them for now. How many buckets have you got to do? Cool. If you've enjoyed tonight, I'm glad to have been of service. Please return the favour by giving me a thumbs up on this video. Or if you haven't already, please subscribe to the show, because the subscribers make the show grow. It is you are the subscribers. So if you like it, hit the button. If you haven't already, hit the little bell icon to find out on the rare occasion that I do go live at a random time. It does happen from time to time. Yeah, and just basically spread the word. Let's make the community grow. Let's see if we can get the 250, and then just carry on getting bigger and bigger. We've reached a little stall point. That's fine. Like, I do it for fun. I don't care. But it would be nice if it grows. And the only way it does grow is if you subscribe. Subscribe. I can't follow this. It's on the screen. I can't follow it. Hit the subscribe button, please. It would make my day. That would be wonderful. And if you know someone who might benefit from the show, bring them along and get them to come along and subscribe as well. Yeah. I hope you've had a really productive evening. Stafford says he has. I hope the rest of you have too. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. It's just nice to get together and just paint stuff, right? That's kind of what we all do and love. So, yeah, if you're doing anything during the week between now and next week's show, go and take photos of it, stick it up on Facebook or on Discord where you can video chat or type chat with everybody else. There's loads of little channel things in there for you to get involved in if you want to. So we're on Instagram, Discord, and we're on Facebook as well. If you want to go check out any of the links downstairs, go and check those guys out. Go share some love. What's going on here with my headset? I've rolled over my cable. Yep, because I'm so good. Normally I'm wireless, but it is charging at the same time today. So yeah, go check out those wonderful people down there. Go share some love for the wonderful service providers, etc. that are out there. Middown's one of them. Go and share them some love and buy some stuff because it makes everyone rich. Apparently. Okay, I'm done. Am I here next week? I am here next week. My job is a little up and down sometimes. Sometimes I'm very, very busy on certain days when I normally wasn't. So if that ever happens, I will let you know. So you have to follow me on Facebook or on YouTube, and I will put that information out on every single platform that I possibly can for you. Just trying to think ahead now. Am I available next Friday? Yes, I am. I will be here next week, same time. So if you want to come along, then come along, and then that's it, really. Hope you had a great evening. Forgot what I was going to say. See you next week. Bye. Now, I'm not going to finish the show without saying it. Stay safe, be kind, keep on painting. Get some colour on your grey! This guy is literally legs.